We're doing 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching, and we do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little community, and hopefully make some challenging stuff like stretching every day, suffering through the side splits a little bit more fun, so it's easier to practice consistency. And that way, we can make a whole bunch of progress towards our goals. Cool? Let's see. That sounds cool. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back so that we can practice consistency together. And with that, let's get started with our warm-ups. The first warm-up exercise is called the hip car, and it's all about moving our leg through its full range of motion at the hip level using our own muscles. So it looks like this. High knee, open up that leg, rotate the ankle up as high as you can, maybe even bring it higher than the knee, then bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, really pull this leg back. Try to keep the upper body straight, as straight up as possible. You're gonna bend, you're gonna lean, but I want you to imagine trying to keep your upper body up straight. Cool? Feel free to hold on to a wall. I like holding on to something that's about chest level, just a little bit, so that it's easier to focus on getting your legs to the full range of motion. If it's lower, if you have to like lean to get it, you're gonna be already off balance trying to hold on to it. So try to keep it easy to grab, just in sight. Cool? All right, hip curls, let's go. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Oh, shake out that leg. Give it a light massage. Let's keep going. Let's do the other side. High knee. Use that muscles. Power. Lift that knee real high. Open up directly to the side. Rotate the leg so the ankle is as high as possible. Bring the leg down and back. Down and back means knee is behind the standing leg knee. Ooh, I'm off balance. Okay. Hamstrings are flexed. Glutes are flexed. You're feeling the stretch in the front of the hip flexor. It's really easy to get a little tired by the time you get to the last part and to not remember to flex hard to get that full range of motion. So I'm calling it out. Let's work on it. I'm calling it out because I know I get lazy too. Don't worry. It's not just you, it's me. I only know this because I'm doing the same thing. All right, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Whew. Give your hips a little pound. We are done with hip curls going forward. Now we're gonna do some hip curls going back. Shake out your legs, give them a chance to relax, and let's get right into it. Hip curls going back. We're gonna start going back by going back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, lift the leg up directly to the side. Try to get the ankle up, 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 up. Rotate so that now the ankle is all the way down. I know it's the exact opposite instruction right after the previous one. And then high knee to the front, back, side, ankle, knee, back, side, ankle, knee. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Take a mental note of how your hips are feeling while you're doing this. All the little clicks and crunches and whatever other sounds you're feeling coming in from your hips. Because I'm going to ask you to try to do it again at the end of the live, and I want you to compare how your hips feel. The reason why this is happening, why I'm asking you to do this, is because yesterday, at the end of our live, I said, hey, if you don't want to shake out your hips with whatever weird thing we're doing, try some hip curls. It's the results the same. And then I did it myself. I was like, oh my gosh, are these even my legs? This is what hip cars could feel like, because I usually start with hip cars, right? Like, and this is the only time I do hip cars, right at the very beginning of the workout. And I don't usually revisit hip cars until the next day, until I'm completely cold and I need to get warmed up again. But yesterday, I did them after the workout, and I was like, huh, what's happening? My legs can move this smoothly? This is crazy. Anyways, so before you leave, before you quit for the day, go ahead and give that a try and see if your hips feel smoother than when we started. It should, because you're coming in cold, but I want to know if it's like a dramatic difference. Okay, we're moving on to warm-up exercise number 2. It is the elephant walk. We are folding and bringing our belly buttons down, feeling the stretch in the hamstring. I just want you to focus on that belly button. Keep on trying to bring it down. Your knees can be bent. They can be bent a lot. They can be bent a little bit. As long as you're feeling the stretch in your hamstrings, it is okay for now. If you're a little bit higher up, that's okay, it's totally fine, it's part of the process. As long as you're feeling a strong stretch in the hamstrings, we are good. Whew. Breathe, relax, chill for a little bit. Now that you're feeling the hamstrings tighten up, maybe you're feeling it running all the way down from just above the knee into just below the glutes. Maybe you're feeling some tingling in the glutes. That's all pretty normal, so don't worry. Now we're going to bend one knee and straighten out the other leg. Okay, from the front, it'll look like this. Actually, there's barely a difference. So from the side, it's gonna look a little bit like this. And what I want you to feel is your leg and all the muscles in the back of that leg and the hamstrings sort of shifting and stretching while you move. It's not gonna be super comfortable. It's gonna feel a little bit weird, and that is completely normal. So don't worry about that. And at some point, your hamstrings will start feeling like they move a little bit smoother. They move a little bit better. It might not happen today. It might happen every single day. And I call that pretty much the point where your warm-up is almost ready. Oh, I don't know why I grunt so much, but if you hear me grunting, know that those are my honest reactions to whatever it is that we're doing. Okay. Once you're moving a little smoother and your hamstrings are feeling good, let's go ahead and move on and add some rotation. So the rotation is for the upper back, and we're putting a little effort into our shoulders, our fingers. We're going to set up in that same exact position. We're bending one knee, straightening the other leg. The opposite hand is going to go grab the straightened leg. It's going to push, rotate the chest, in this case to my right, stick my right hand up into the air, look at the hand with my heads, rotate that neck, and come back down to the ground. That's one rep. Let's go ahead and do the other side. That's one, part 2. Let's keep going. Let's do 5 of these. 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Whew. Usually I say something about, remember, this is still really good for your hamstrings, so go ahead and focus on the hamstrings a little bit. It's okay. We did a lot of hamstring stuff. If you want to just focus on your back because it was really good, you can do that. If you remember that we are still in a really good position to stretch the hamstring, you can try to bring your belly button a little bit lower when your hands are pointing up. And that folding will maybe give you a little bit of stretch in the oblique because you're already twisted like so. Those are all good things. So enjoy it. Cool. All right, that is 2 of our 3 warm-up exercises. Go ahead, take a water break, a coffee break. Most of you are in the US, so not a coffee break. You should go to bed. And I'm going to check chat. If I awkwardly pause while staring at the phones, staring at the camera, being really close to it, it's because I'm already scrolling and reading the chat. And Let's see. Bryce is back. It's good to see you. Welcome back. Witness my fitness. Welcome back. Ooh, Lilas sent a gift. Thank you so much. And scrolling. Which country am I in now? I don't think my girlfriend would appreciate if we started telling people what country we're in. I think she's a little apprehensive about that, so I'm gonna not answer that question. I hope you understand. On YouTube, Forsaken284 says, "Do you know how to do Romanian deadlifts in the gym?" I can talk about that at the end when we're done with the live. And maybe in Spanish, maybe in Portuguese. I can't tell anymore at this point. Somebody asked if I'm Chinese, Japanese, or Korean. My parents are Chinese. Okay, that's enough for the break. Let's get back into it and get into warm-up exercise number 3. If you've been here before, you know, this is intense. This is probably one of the hardest exercises that we do. And I call it a warm-up because we're trying to get the muscles warmed up, not because we're preparing our body for something even more intense. Okay? So let's open up our legs nice and wide, and we're going to focus on dropping down to one side. Try to point your toes maybe 30-ish, 45-ish degrees out, and figure out how to get your hip to get into that position. Right now, I want you to try to get into something that looks like this. Your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. Maybe they're going over your toes. Your Achilles tendon is feeling that stretch in the calf. You're feeling a little bit of pressure in the front of your ankle. You're feeling pressure in the hip because you are putting a whole bunch of your body weight into that hip. All right, rotate the leg. Figure out what angle is comfortable for you for now. The goal is to be comfortable at first because I want you to sit in this position, hang out, and get used to it. As you get stronger, I care less about your comfort and more about you getting stronger. But for now, as we're trying to play with the position and get used to it, I want you to experiment and see what you can comfortably sit in. Cool? Oh, I can bring my hips all the way down to the ground. And sometimes I forget that some people can't. So if you're over here really high up at the moment, which is totally okay, this is probably really burning your quads. So if you need to take a break, you can always take a break. Don't worry about that. What we're doing here is just getting these muscles used to the positions that they're in because we're going to spend a bunch of time in this position moving in and out of it. This position right now, my heel is up a little bit because I'm trying to exaggerate and show you what the knee is doing. But this is the position that I should probably get into right here for my range of motion. And it's a challenging position to hold. I'm feeling the stretch. I'm feeling the muscles flexing really hard in the leg. So if you can relax a little bit, even if that means putting your hand down on the floor to give yourself a little bit of support, if your heel comes up just a little bit, it's totally fine. If your heel's really coming up and you're basically kneeling on the ground like this, then we'll just have to spend a little bit less time in the position and make sure your quads don't burn out. All right, from here, we're going to shift our weight from side to side. This is what makes the Cossack switch the switch because we're, I guess, switching sides. Now, we're just trying to do the same exact thing on the other side. This leg, I want the knee to travel in the same direction as your toes. I want you to feel the stretch in the Achilles, pressure in the front ankle, pressure in the back, in the hip. And if it's too much weight, you can hold your own knee. Just make sure your knee is staying in front of your toes, in line with your toes. I don't want your knee to go this way. I don't want your knee to go out, traveling in the same line as your toes are pointing. Cool? All right. Oh, once we've hung out here for a little bit, I want to talk about this leg real quick. Your toes, I want you to try to point them up. It's okay if your feet are flat, but I want you to try to point your toes up, your knees up, and have your heels down. This opened up position is really similar to what we need to do when we do the side splits. And I want you to get stronger in this position as we shift from side to side so that your side splits also get better. Cool? So you can put your hands down and walk them from side to side. We're going to do 5 reps. I think this already counts as 1. This is a little gentler on your knees. You don't need as much strength, and you don't need to balance as much because a lot of your weight is shifting in your arms. This will be really good for most people. If you're feeling a little stronger, if you want to experiment, you can. Keep leaning forward and just stop using your hands. You'll feel way more pressure in your knees, in your hips. And if you're feeling really strong, you can try to straighten up, stick your arms out in front of you to counterbalance your weight. Go from side to side, like so. We are just doing 5. I have absolutely no idea how many I've done, but I'm pretty sure I've done more than 5. So go ahead, take a break, come back up into standing. I know we hung out in this position for a long time. Shake out the legs. If you're breathing hard, know that I'm breathing hard, and I probably need to just shut up and drink some water and breathe. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right. Not Kashka said, just tore my Achilles. What are some early and simple things I can do to help my recovery? That's a good question. I'm not an expert, so I'm gonna just throw that out there to make sure you know. I'm not an expert, but I did watch a whole bunch of YouTube videos recently about training tendons for calisthenics and training tendons for injury. And it seems like a good protocol to try is to put pressure on that tendon for about 10 seconds and then rest for 50 seconds. 10 seconds, rest for 50 seconds. Do that 10 times and do that once in the morning and once in the evening. So if your Achilles tendon, I don't know if this is true. I'm using that information that I saw. I'm gonna try to explain it in reference to your Achilles tendon. The stretched out position in the Achilles tendon would be knees forward, right? This is where you feel the most pressure. And that is because the Achilles tendon is the tendon that connects your calves to the base of your foot, right? So when you lean forward, your calves get stretched and your Achilles tendon also gets stretched. So that would be this, I guess, right here would be putting pressure on the tendon. And I guess putting pressure and holding for 10 seconds, then resting for 50, putting pressure for 10, resting for 50, apparently stimulates the tendon to grow and repair faster than just resting or doing other things. And apparently the tendon is able to receive that growth signal again in about 8 hours. So that means you can wake up in the morning at 8, do about 10 minutes of exercise for the tendon, for that Achilles, and in 8 hours after that, so after you come back from work, you can do another round and go to bed. So you can do 2 workouts a day, and both of them, I think, hypothetically, should be helpful. If you need to do some other research, YouTube has, what should you research? I think there's like a tendon PhD dude whose whole like thing is about tendons and how strong they can get. And I can't remember his name. I'm really struggling right now. But there is a calisthenics athlete who's super ridiculously strong, who's also a medical doctor, who did an interview with him. The doctor's name is Dr. Yad, Y-A-D, Dr. Y-A-D. And the interview happened probably like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. It's a pretty recent video that he's posted, Dr. Yad. And that same doctor, I think, has done an interview with, the same PhD in tendons has done a show with Tim Ferriss at some point. So he's not just a random dude, hopefully. Okay, that's all I got for tendons. I hope you enjoyed your coffee. Let's get into some stretches. We're doing some hamstring stretches. I like to do them with one leg on the ground, kneeling. You don't have to do them quite this way, but I recommend it because you can focus all your energy on the stretch. And if you are ever feeling off balance, you can just put your hands down and reach the floor. Cool? All right, let's go. Hips pointing forward, shoulders pointing forward. We are getting into the stretch. This is going to look a little bit like that. Focus on bringing the belly button down towards the leg. I'm going to spin around so you can see the angle of the body and how we adjust rather than just my big old forehead. When you get into this position, I want you to tuck. I want you to pull that leg into the hip socket so that you can really focus just on the hamstring stretch. If you're all the way extended like this, your back leg is feeling the stretch, your hip flexors are feeling the stretch, It's more than we want. We're not worried about all those things right now. We're trying to focus on just the hamstring. So pull the leg in, fold the belly button down, feel the stretch in the hamstring, and as it gets more and more intense, I want you to try your best to relax. What does that mean? We're going to take a big breath in and relax and exhale. And while we exhale, we're going to try and get deeper into the stretch. If you relaxed for half a second, your muscles unrelaxed and started tensing up as soon as you started pushing forward. And that is totally normal. Okay, let's try that again. Inhale, exhale, and try to get a little bit deeper. All right, when you are as deep as you can, I want you to double check. You're focused on bringing your belly button down to touch the thigh. All right, everything else is just for show. Your back, your neck, all this can move and go anywhere it wants at basically any time. You don't need to train that. We are trying to get the tops of our hips to basically touch the thigh. Cool? That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. Hold it. Apply steady pressure. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. If your knees are a little achy, you can give them a slight bend. And with that slight bend, you can focus on trying to bring your belly button and your chest down to that leg and then try to straighten it out. But if your bend is slight enough, you can just proceed as normal and not do anything different at all. If it's very bent, you can try to focus on bringing your chest to the knee. All right. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Come on out of it. Take a couple of deep breaths. Relax. And let's switch over to the other side. I just stretched out my right leg, so now I'm switching over to my left leg. Again, don't let the leg go all the way out. Tuck it in into your hip. Fold forward. Ooh, my left knee is a little achy today, so I'm definitely going to bend the knee. And focus on bringing the belly button down to touch the thigh. All right? I want you to almost imagine the tops of your hips pointing out in front of you. And I want you to imagine the bottom of your sit bones pointing back behind you. And that's it. Let's go. Take a big deep breath in. Exhale. Relax. Inhale again. Exhale slowly. Relax. Push yourself into that stretch a little deeper. And once you're there, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on out of that hamstring stretch. You can get rid of the cushion. We don't need it anymore. And shake out that leg. Shake out the other leg. Shake out both legs. If you feel discomfort still at this point, then take a chill, take a break. But most of the discomfort from stretching should be gone right after you finish stretching. I'm gonna take a quick look at the chat. Anna says, "Hell yeah, it's Ken. That's me. That's me. Thank you for sharing such excitement for seeing my face. I love it." Lulu says, "Hi everyone. I'm so late, but happy to be here." Thank you, Lulu. That's so lovely. You're not late. Don't worry. We're just into the second stretch. I don't actually know when you came in because I'm scrolling back and I don't know how far I've scrolled at this point. But it's good to see everybody. Welcome back. I hope you had a lovely, lovely Thanksgiving. Are enjoying the holidays. And I'm glad that you're here to spend a little bit with me because I guess maybe eating a lot of food is good to feel like you want to exercise after. Cool. Okay, cool. All right, we're moving on. I got nothing else to say on the topic. Butterfly stretch is next. We are doing the Taylor's pose, and it looks like this. We are pulling our feet in towards our body and trying to push the knees down into the ground. I recommend you get to a wall because when you're using the wall to push against, it helps to keep your upper body more stable. You can put your hips, your shoulder, your head against the wall. And when you do this, not only does your posture nice, it gives you something to push against so that you can stay very, 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 very stable. And when you're very, very, very stable, you can figure out how to work the muscles in the legs so that it does exactly what you want it to do. What we want it to do is to bring the knees down into the ground using just muscle power. We want to use the outer thigh muscles, we want to use the glutes, and the reality is, if you've never done these like seriously before, it's gonna be really hard to figure out which muscles are doing what. And it's very hard to control just your glutes flexing, just your outer thighs flexing. Usually when you're flexing, all of the muscles in your leg start flexing. And if the front is flexing and the back is flexing, then some of those forces are canceling each other out. So there's a lot of confusion going on over there already, as it is. But when we have the wall, at least we don't have to figure out how to balance in this seated position. Cool. Next up, I want you to try and bring your knees to touch the ground. It's going to be confusing. It's going to be weird. You can give yourself a little bit of a push and see which muscles are kind of involved. Just try your best. Don't worry about perfection. We're just learning about the complex muscles in our leg. And once you feel like you're really trying as hard as you can't get any further. This is as open as you can get. I want you to take your hands, apply a little bit of pressure from above. When you do that, you should feel some pressure in the shoulders, in the back of the head, as you are pushing into the wall, and the wall is not moving, so you're putting all that force right back into your legs. Because you are stuck in this position, you're leaning against the wall, all the force that you're putting into your legs really, really goes into your legs. And with that, we're in position. Keep on holding steady pressure. Keep on trying to flex those muscles in your legs and try to figure out which ones you should contract more and which ones you should try to relax more. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember, we're flexing some muscles. Keep on flexing. See what happens. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, let your hands go first. When you've been holding that stretch for a while and you've been putting pressure into your leg, sometimes parts of your body will feel like they've forgotten how to work, how to move. Right now, my legs feel like they have forgotten, so I'm going to use my hands to move my leg around, release it from its position. And then once it's starting to move, my legs will figure out how to move again. And I'm going to give them a little shake. I really tried to contract the muscles today, so I'm particularly frozen up. Okay. Give your hips a little bit of a pound. And let's keep going. That is the butterfly stretch. If you've done these before and you've never done it the way I just talked about it, and you tried it the way I just talked about it for the first time, compare. It's usually much more useful to have a wall. And if you don't have a wall, you don't have a wall, and that's okay. But definitely give it a go because I feel like it makes the stretch way, 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 way better. And, since I'm already here and because it's the weekend, I'm going to try and get into that same position. You saw how open my legs were. My knees were so close to the ground. I'm going to try and get into that same position without the wall. And I should be able to get pretty close because I was in that position for so long. But you might notice that I am struggling to keep upright. This takes a lot of core muscles. I'm flexing really hard to stay upright. And as soon as I stopped leaning forward, my knees came right up, right? So if I pull really hard on my feet, so that my toes are pointing up at like 45 degrees, I can get my chest up, and then I can focus on bring the knees to the ground. So instead of having the wall to lean against, I'm pulling really hard against my feet right now, right? And then, because I'm pretty sure I know what muscles I'm supposed to be using to open up, I can get pretty close, but I'm not as close as I was when I was against the wall because it is really hard for me now to apply pressure into the leg, right? Before, when we had the wall, we could push our legs down a little bit better, but I cannot push and also maintain the balance. If I push, I want to fall backwards or my feet want to go forwards. But when we have the wall figures that out for us. Cool. All right, I think I'm gonna stop testing that. I've proved to myself that the wall is superior. And if you don't believe me, then you can keep doing whatever you're doing. Let's continue with stretch number 3. But before we do that, please hit follow, hit subscribe, get notified, especially if you're having fun and you want to practice consistency. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. And the goal is to practice consistency both for you and for me, because I don't have the side splits yet and I'm working on it. And hopefully, with that consistency, we build a little bit of community. People hang out in the chat. We have nice conversations and answer questions and hang out and make jokes about the suffering that we're experiencing on the floor every day so that it's a little bit more fun. Hopefully, I send some good vibes, and that fun in the community makes it a lot easier to do stretching, suffering on the floor every single day. And with that suffering a little bit easier, with the consistency, hopefully, you'll make a whole bunch of progress towards your side split goals. So if that sounds fun, that sounds cool, you're looking for a bit of community, hit follow, hit subscribe, do all those cool things, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not done yet, though. Just, I'll also see you tomorrow. Cool. All right. We're moving on to stretch number 3, the standing pancake. And it looks a little bit like this. We're opening up our legs nice and wide, folding forward. And if you want, you can put your hands down to relieve some pressure from your hips. This is the basic starting position of a pancake. The goal of the pancake is to fold and bring your hips all the way down so that your head is like in between your legs. It is a crazy stretch. It is really, really hard. And so we try to do the version where we get the most help from gravity. Right now, if your hips are basically straight up and your chest is going all the way out at mostly a 90-degree angle, then you're feeling the maximum amount of force that this part of your body can generate from gravity. And that's awesome. Gravity is helping you, trying to bring you down. If you want to make this more intense, you can stick your arms straight out above you, and you might feel it immediately. I mean, you'll feel it in the shoulder muscles, but you'll also feel it in the hips that you're getting pulled down. And if you want to make it really challenging, grab something with a little bit of weight. I got some 2-liter milk jugs, half-gallon milk jugs, and that will do. I'm not going to do that. That's crazy. That's it. That is the whole entire pancake stretch. I want you to focus on your hips. I want you to focus on the belly button and trying to bring it down. And we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. You ready? Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Come out of that stretch. If you really focused on folding at the hips, you probably really felt it in your hamstrings. And that is because the hamstrings connect basically to the bottom of your pelvis. They connect right into the sits bones, like the lumpy, pointy thing in your butt. And they go basically to right around the knee-ish area in the leg. So if you feel the hamstrings, if you're feeling the glutes right now, that is because it is unavoidable. When you fold your hips forward, your hamstrings get stretched. And it doesn't matter if your legs are together or if they're apart. As long as you're folding enough, your hamstrings are going to cry, and that is totally normal. So that is the standing pancake. We're going to get into the fourth stretch, the figure four stretch. Let's go. The figure four stretch, it's called the figure four stretch because, and it's really hard to see because I have dark shorts on, but when you cross the leg over, it sort of makes this thing that looks like the number 4. That's why it's called the figure four stretch. The goal of this stretch is to bring, again, your belly button down towards that leg, reduce the size of this angle between my upper body and my hip, and we want to feel the stretch out here in the side glute, outer hip-ish area. I don't know why I'm struggling with balance so bad. Okay, that's it. Yesterday, I think we did, what did we do yesterday? I think we did figure four yesterday, so let's do some pigeon today. These are 2 stretches that focus on the same muscles for the most part, but you do them a little bit differently, all right? And I came up with some different ways of doing them yesterday, so let me demo it. The pigeon, if you've done some yoga, if you've watched some videos about flexibility on the internet, you've probably seen something like this before. What we're doing is bring the leg across our body. We're trying to bring our chest sort of to touch or approach the midpoint of the leg when it is across our body. So I'm going to face you. I'm going to show you that the leg is going across my body. I'm going to try to bring my chest down towards that leg. This is basically the setup. If you know how to do one well and you're confident in it, you can start anytime. If you don't know exactly what we're doing, we got a couple more seconds of instruction. We want to keep our hips low to the ground. So we want the folding action to come after the hips are low. So I want you to imagine being here or even higher or straight up and folding down afterwards, right? I don't want you to be in this position where your head is down, but your butt is all the way up here. That is not the stretch that we want. You don't have to work so hard and bow for it. This back leg, if you can straighten it out and keep it like this so that the knee is down and facing the ground, then go for it. That's awesome. But if you can't and you're struggling with the flexibility needed here in the hip, you can let it out. You can drop the knee off to the side. As long as you are feeling the stretch in that outer hip on the other leg, then we're doing the stretch just right. Cool? If you want to make this stretch a little bit easier, you can elevate the leg. I don't know if this is the right way that I want to elevate, but we'll try it. We'll see. You can elevate the leg that you are putting into the pigeon pose, and that'll give you a little more freedom to keep your knee straight behind you. All right, you only usually need a little bit, but if you are really struggling with that back leg, you can grab a relatively sturdy chair and get into that same position. I'm facing you again so that you know my leg is across the body. Ooh, that's not very comfortable for the ankle bone. This chair is very hard plastic. Okay, and you can still focus on folding forward, putting the stretch into that side hip, but now your back leg is way up high and it's much easier to maintain that position. Cool? Figure out what makes sense for you. You do want to feel a little bit of a stretch in the back leg. When I have this crazy chair, I don't feel the stretch in the back leg anymore. So you gotta adjust and figure out what is just challenging enough for you that you're getting some value out of it, and easy enough so that you can get value out of it. That is the pigeon stretch. We talked for way long this time, so let's get into it. Get into position, keep the hips low, bring your chest and shoulders down towards the ground, feel that stretch in the outer hip, and 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on up out of that stretch. Switch over to the other side, and we will continue. Again, we are trying to bring this leg perpendicular across our body. We're trying to hit the midpoint of the leg with the midpoint of our chest. And that's it. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Try to breathe nice and deep. Slowly exhale and see if you can relax into a deeper stretch. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we are done. That's the pigeon stretch. And with that, we are done with all of our stretches. We're done with everything other than the side splits. We are going to take a quick break, take a quick water break, and we're going to actually do the side splits. So, Queen RR says, I feel like the pigeon stretch is harder than the figure four, but that's just my opinion. I think the pigeon can feel harder because you have gravity pulling your upper body down, and there's nothing you can do about gravity other than adjust your chest position and your in the angle of your body to figure out how to adjust where your center of gravity is and where gravity is the most effective on your hips, right? Now, where am I going with this? Because you're fighting, gravity's pulling on you, you're going to feel the strength of gravity. Whereas when you're doing the figure four stretch, it's your biceps, it's your arms, it's your shoulders that's pulling your leg up into your body, right? And when your arms are tired, you just start chilling out. You stop pulling as hard, and the stretch becomes less intense. But gravity, that doesn't happen so much. Gravity just keeps on trying to smush you into a pancake. So if the pigeon feels a little bit harder, that is totally normal. All right, I'm gonna scroll the chat real quick on TikTok, real quick, and see if there's anything else to address in the chat. Got a whole bunch of people following live. Welcome everybody. If you don't know, we do this live side splits show every single day to practice consistency and to build a little bit of community so that we can make stretching a little bit more fun, bring good vibes, bring people in the chat asking questions, making jokes, so that we can communally share the suffering that is the side splits. All right, let's do this. Side splits time. What we're doing, we're stretching out, is trying to get our brain to realize, hey, this is a cool position, this is chill, we are good, let me stretch. And the brain's job is obviously to keep you safe, to keep you alive. And so when you get into a position that it thinks is not safe for you, all your muscles are going to contract and it's going to be like, whoa, 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 stop it. You're not allowed to go there. That is basically why you get stuck. The brain is doing stuff, and I make it sound like it's consciously doing it, but usually those are just reflexes. It's not doing anything per se. It's just your body automatically doing its defense mechanism. All right. So a lot of what we're doing is trying to get that defense mechanism to recognize this is chill, we're cool. And one of the best ways to do that is to make sure you're safe, to make sure you're feeling loose. You're feeling like you're not in a super tense state where you're about to get hunted down by dire wolves or something, and your body can chill out and relax. So one of the things we can focus on is safety. If you're tense because you're like, oh no, if I fall, I'm going to hurt myself, that's bad. We don't want that. So I recommend you get really close to this wall right here. And the reason for that is when you're in a side split stretch, if you start falling forward, it's easy enough to catch yourself going forward. But when you start going back, it's like, oh no. If you have a wall behind you, then you move just a couple of inches. Maybe your shoulder hits, maybe your butt hits, maybe your lower back is what's hitting. But as long as it's not your head, as long as you're not falling like the next 3 feet backwards, you're fine. It doesn't hurt nearly as bad. Cool? So that's what the wall's for. Have it there. Help keep you safe. And let's get into some side splits. Open up those legs nice and wide. You don't have to have your hips hurt, but as soon as they do, I want you to focus on folding forward and put your hands down. What we're doing is trying to mimic almost like a push-up position. And we're doing this because we want to shift some of the weight out of our legs and into our hands. With less weight in our legs, it's easier to externally rotate the legs. What that means is your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. All right? And we're going to try to get slightly deeper into the stretch. If you're really close to the wall, like I said, maybe your butt is touching the wall right now, there's a little bit of extra support there for you. Go ahead and take advantage of that. You don't have to move away. And when your legs are as open as they feel like they can get for the moment, you can stop right here. We don't have to go any further. But if you want to try to get a little bit further, you can walk your hands further back towards your hips and put some of that body weight right back over your legs and increase the intensity of the stretch. Finally, you can do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. See if maybe it's just friction from your feet and your floor holding you back. And with that, we are ready. Let's go 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk those hands forward. Pull your legs out of that stretch. It might take a couple of seconds. Your legs might be confused, and that's okay. Give yourself a quick break. Give a light massage to those hip muscles. You might need it for your inner thighs, although they'll probably be a little bit less effective of a massage. And when you can, let's come back up into standing so we can shake it out and get loose. All right, what we're doing is we're gently shaking out the legs and take a nice big deep breath to help relax. What we're doing right now is trying to do the exact opposite of what happens when we stretch. When we stretch, the body's going, no, stop it. Leave me alone. Don't do this. And what we want to do, now that we've already stretched, is you want to relax and have all those muscles be loose. One, you are flopping around like this, and your ankles are going all over the place, and your leg is moving around like this. There's no way for the muscles to be super tight. If they were super tight, you'd be moving around like a robot, right? Because you're like actively forcing the muscle to chill out. When you're flopping around and you're feeling loose, it's the opposite. So, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 flop. You don't have to get into fancy technique. Just try your best to loosen up and get some movement into that leg so it feels relaxed, so it doesn't feel like you were just suffering on the floor in the side splits. All right. And once we've done that, we're going to do a couple of quick checks to make sure our joints are feeling good. We're going to do some hip circles. You don't have to do very many. Just make sure nothing is uncomfortable. We're going to do some high knees. Again, you don't have to do very many. Just making sure that all the muscles and all the joints are working the way they're supposed to, at least with a little bit of pressure. We're going to drop into this mini squat, this quarter squat. Put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in the ankles. Come up onto those toes, just checking that those bones, those joints, those muscles are all working well together. All right, and with that, take a nice big deep breath. Relax. We're ready for round two. Same thing, get close to that wall. Have it there so that if you start falling backwards, the wall will keep you safe. And let's open up those legs. Open, 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 open. Once it gets a little bit uncomfortable in the hips, fold forward, put your hands down, do that mini push-up position so that you can take some of the weight off your legs so that you can do this external rotation of the legs. Your toes are up, your knees are up, your heels are down. All right. As soon as you get into this, you might notice that you're already way more flexible. You can slide deeper down into the stretch than that first round. That is the magic of relaxation, and also this being rep number 2. Walk the hands back towards your hips and do a little bit of a wiggle, see if you can get a little bit deeper into the stretch. You should be a lot more comfortable getting into the stretch than the first time around. And that's good. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If the stretch gets too intense at any moment, you can always shift your weight forward and back. What that means is you can walk your hands in front of you, you can walk your hands back towards your hips. It will slightly change the stretch and which muscles are getting the brunt of it. And basically, you're sliding back and forth between a side split, a straddle, and a pancake, depending on how far forward you're folding. And those are all really intense, really, end game, ultimate goal type stretches. So they're all good for you. And if it gets uncomfortable, you can work on all of them at the same time. All right. With that, I think we got to be really close to 30 seconds. I can't imagine it hasn't been 30 seconds because I've been talking for so long. I just wanted to be distracting. But now that I've forgotten how much time is left, I think we're just going to call it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Walk those hands forward, pull your legs in from underneath you. It might be a little bit more of a struggle this time than the first time because we are in round 2, and that's okay. All right, give yourself a break. Take a couple of breaths. And when you can, let's come back into standing so that we can shake out those legs. In the second round, your legs are probably going to be a little bit more tired. They're going to be a little bit more like, whoa, what is going on? And that's absolutely okay. We're just going to slowly shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, flop, flop. In the past, we've called these noodles ramen noodles, soggy ramen noodles, where like they droop, they spring down, and then they don't come back up. Soggy ramen noodle. But we can call it any type of pasta you like. Yesterday I tried to list off a whole bunch. Couldn't remember nearly enough to make it exciting, so I decided not to. If you have a favorite pasta, throw it in the chat so I can be reminded of different names of different pastas and save me the time of having to go onto Google to do that. Anyways, shaking out those legs. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. This time, I want you to move your hips very intentionally. All right. You might call it the stanky leg. If you like to dance, you might want to do something like this, turn it into a fun dance move. But what I want you to do is really focus on getting a little bit of movement at the hip with internal and external rotation. That's basically your knees going in and your knees going out. Cool? Oh, with that, I think we basically accidentally done the whole entire check. But let's do the check anyway. Hip circles, real quick. High knees, feels good. Mini squat, put pressure in the knees, put pressure in the ankles, come up onto a calf raise. And if those all feel good, then we are ready for round 3 of the side split. Since we are approaching the end, I feel obligated to tell you we do this every day. So if you're having fun, keep coming back, hit that follow button, practice consistency with me. Cool? We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, and I'm trying my best to schedule the lives in the TikTok account, in the YouTube account, so you can just click on that link and come on in when we are live. All right, round 3 of the side splits. Let's go. Get close to that wall. Get your butt nice and close so that if you start falling backwards, the wall will catch you. Open up the legs as wide as they can go comfortably. Fold forward. Put your hands down to take some pressure off your legs. Externally rotate the legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Slide deeper into the stretch. I'm showing off by doing this, trying to look at the camera, but you can be folded forward and not look up at all while you do all of this. And walk your hands back towards your hips. You're going to feel more pressure in those legs, and that is great. Do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side to see if you can break that last little bit of friction holding you back. And once you're as deep as you can go, it's time for 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost done, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, breathe, walk your hands forward, come out of that stretch, pull your legs in. If you need to take a second, go ahead and take it. We're done with the stretches. We're going to do one last round of relaxing and checks to make sure that your legs are feeling okay, are functioning before you go out and do whatever else you have to do today. And then we'll be absolutely 100% totally wrapped. Let's go. Start with that gentle shake of the legs. Pick up the intensity as you feel comfortable. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And as you get more comfortable, get more loose, make sure to get some of that hip motion like so. Do that stanky leg. Do some old school dance moves. Bring the knees in and out. And finally, I talked about this super early in the beginning. We're going to do a couple of seconds, real quick, of hip cars. If you have not been in since the beginning, this is our first warm-up exercise. Usually we start with these. I want you to try and hit all those positions I talk about. High knee, open up as wide as you can, lift the knee high, rotate the legs at the ankle is high, bring the leg down and back. Do you feel the difference? Is this smoother? Is it just me? Because I feel like it's so easy. I'm just like floating through space right now. When we start this, I'm like, I'm gonna try my best to hold this knee so high. But right now, even though the exercises were really intense, I feel like my leg feels so light and and it flows well. Like yesterday when I did this for the first time, I was like, really? Is this even my leg? It feels like this? Wow, I need to warm up more often. Anyways, if you've tried it, if it feels better, then you know that with enough warm up, you can move really well. You can move much better than you think you can. And so go ahead and do those warm ups. I forgot to do the joint checks, but now that we've done the hip cars, I feel like we're basically good. We'll do quick hip circles, high knees, mini squats. These are literally just to make sure that your joints are able to hold your body weight and are able to work as normal. And if something is achy or feeling weird, you get to address it in a low risk situation. I don't want you walking down the stairs and going, oh, wait, my ankle kind of suddenly hurts, right? So we do those checks to make sure that your joints are working before you go away. Okay. Take a deep breath. Congratulations. We are done. And if you have absolutely no idea what we're doing or what we just did about an hour of live side split stretching. And we do this every single day to practice consistency, to build community of people who are interested in working on the hips, getting stronger, and working on the side splits. So no, it is not Tai Chi. There was a question that came in on YouTube. Yeah, so the goal is to make consistency a lot more fun, to have community, other people who are doing the same thing with you. And hopefully the good vibes I bring to the table, the good energy we bring from the comments, the support, helps you to practice consistency and also stretch more so that you can make progress towards your side splits. Cool? I'm gonna drink some water because I've been talking for a long time. But if you got questions, comments, thoughts, I'm gonna start scrolling while I drink. Multitasking. Dieta says, another good session. Yes. Lovely. Thank you, thank you. And, oh, there's not much commenting in the live going on today. That's cool. Okay. Which means, I guess, we got no reason to continue. We can start wrapping up soon. Let's see. Over here on YouTube, we got a lot of questions. One of them is, do you have abs? I do. But I try not to show off too much when we are on the live. So if you need to go find stuff like that. You can go check out the shorts and the other platforms on YouTube, or Instagram or TikTok. Let's see what else we got. What else we got? Queen RRR says, great to improve hip and lower body mobility. Yes, that is what we do in the live. We are focused on trying to have better movement at the hip level, and I make it talk about the side splits because they're a really cool end goal, but everything that we do ends up working on strengthening different parts of the hips and warming up the hips and getting them to move a little bit better, a little bit smoother. I think for most people, it's not as fun if I say, hey, this is just a hip mobility workout. It's not exactly exciting. So we call it the side splits because at the end of the day, yes, we are working towards the side splits, but we only spend like 90 seconds on the side splits. Everything else is a stretch that warms up and gets the hips strengthened and ready. Cool. All right. Let's go on back into the chat on TikTok real quick to close out. And if you have had fun, if you enjoyed the stretching, if you enjoyed the good vibes, please consider hitting the follow and subscribe button. We do this every day to practice consistency. And if you want to practice more consistency, especially, in preparation for the New Year's craze where everybody has goals to do stuff and be consistent, then you can start practicing now. And by the time New Year's hits, you'll be a champ. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And the goal is to build community and is to build the skill of being consistent, doing hard things, right? Hopefully, with good vibes, having a place to be, having people to do it with, it's easier to practice consistency. So that's the goal. If that sounds fun, hit follow, hit subscribe. We are doing this every single day. And if you don't believe that I've done this every single day, I think I've got like 4 months of daily videos on YouTube, short, maybe like 2 or 3 days where the internet was horrible and there are like 4 viewers because the internet was horrible. But I think there's only like 2 or 3 days of that type of video. And so you can see the proof in all of the YouTube lives updated to YouTube. Um, and if you want to go really far back, on Instagram is where all of this started. I have some day one footage on the very bottom of the Instagram account. You're gonna have to scroll to get there. I've been doing this for about a year. The program has gotten a little bit more advanced as I figured out things as I moved around more, but it has essentially stayed the same for 365 days. And you can see where my starting point was. With a couple minutes every single day, I made a lot of progress. And it doesn't have to be super intense. It doesn't have to be about intensity. Because as long as you're getting the consistency for the most part, the workout is just difficult enough that you will make progress every day without feeling like your hips got beat up every day and you feel miserable. Cool. If you do feel miserable because it's your first day, the first day was intense, you can take a day off. Don't worry. But I designed the flow to be able to be done most days. Cool. All right, that's it for me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope you had a wonderful holiday weekend. I hope you enjoyed the stretch. I will see you tomorrow, and I will see you every day for a long time from now, too. So that's it. Let's go. Goodbye. Ganowski. Thank you so much for coming. Travel with Roxy. See you tomorrow. Galleta. Goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow as well. Closing off TikTok first. Here we go. Boom. And over here on YouTube, I don't think there are any other comments left. There are a bunch of people on YouTube though. Oh, Koshi just said hello. Optical X-ray says we meet to work out. Yes, we meet to do a bunch of hip mobility and stretching. It started about an hour ago. We already finished. But we do this every day, so you can come back and join up tomorrow. You just worked out. Lovely. Did you just work out with me, or did you just work out and then you found the live that we're currently having this conversation on? Oh man, I'm out of breath. I talk a lot. You found the live now. Okay. Um, if just before this is your normal workout situation, then we're not a good match time-wise, and that's okay. But I do 45 minutes to an hour of live side splits related stretching every single day on YouTube, on TikTok. And yeah, it's 9 p.m. where I am, but you start at 9. Yes. So where you are, it's 9 p.m. Okay. So that means you are one time zone over. 9 p.m. is Eastern time zone, so that's the East Coast of the U.S. If that means anything. Otherwise, it kind of goes out through I think like Colombia maybe and some other places that I can't list off the top of my head because I don't know where else it goes. Um, I think Toronto, if you're going to Canada. Okay, anyways, that's not important. The lives are scheduled on the profile, so you can just go ahead and click to be notified on the YouTube profile itself. And I don't think it's up yet because I haven't done it yet, but it will be up in a couple hours. You can just tune in at 8 o'clock your time. Exactly. All right, that's it from me. I think I'm ready to wrap up because we've been doing this for a little over an hour and my hips are tired. Whew. Thank you everybody for coming. I hope to see you tomorrow, and I hope you enjoyed the live. Cool. Goodbye. Oh, did I miss a question? I did. I am indeed from the US. Thank you, Queen RR, for filling in for me in the chat. All right. There's 12 of you still on watching the live, and I don't got anything left. So you got to come back tomorrow so we can practice consistency together. All right? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.